Metroid Prime. My coming to play this game is actually kind of an interesting story. I first bought the game around the same time I bought 007 Nightfire, but somehow before I played it, I lost it. I know, weird, right? So I continued playing the variety of other games I had for several years before getting my first PC. Back in present day, I found myself run out of space in one of my business card binders, so I looked at the only place I could possibly have an empty binder, my old high school stuff box. I eventually did have to go to Staples, but not before finding an EB Games bag and a receipt for Metroid Prime. And also the game, which was in the bag. It even had the used game sticker still sealing the case. A few days later I had some free time, so I booted it up, played a bit, and immediately knew this was going to be my next review. So, how is it? Really fucking good for the era. Like, really. The game itself looks, feels, and sounds near perfect. From the ambience to the soundtrack to the particle effects. Metroid Prime deserves all the praise it's been given, and more. That being said, the game is not without fault, namely in the control area. Let's say you want to strafe right while shooting up. Well, you can't, because you can't aim and move at the same time. Or let's say you want to auto-target something at your feet while backpedaling. Well, again, you can't because there's only one analog stick used, and if you try walking backwards while holding the aim button, your camera will shoot for the heavens. Now, I'll be the first to admit I'm not very good with controllers, but I managed to beat the first boss in 007 Nightfire, and it didn't take me 50 fucking tries. Basically, the controls are just terrible, even for the era. It makes a fast-paced first-person platformer into an enraging game of bop it. I know people will try to defend this, but when the biggest challenge in the game comes from the poor controls and not the enemies, there's something very wrong. I suppose other than that, the game is flawless. I managed to play my way through 10% of the total game and loved it. For sake of schedule, I couldn't beat the game as I don't have a week of free time just laying around, which is kind of how life is, but that actually brings up another question of mine. How the fuck can a 1.5 gigabyte GameCube game have like 30 hours of gameplay, and modern games use like 26 gigabytes and only have 4 hours? I know, HD graphics, but look at Skyrim. That shit's beautiful as fuck and only like 6 gigs. What was I talking about? Oh, Metroid, right. Speaking of gameplay and story, great segue, Metroid, like most games of the era, doesn't explain the story much at all. I'm assuming the story carries off from the original game, which I haven't played, but I can't be sure. All you're told is, go here, kill baddies, don't die, and then go here. Maybe they explained the story a little more later in the game, but again, I haven't had the time to finish it. Regardless, I will definitely continue to play Metroid in my free time, and I have no doubt I will eventually beat it. Then again, I did also say that about Ocarina of Time, and that was over 5 years ago. But whatever, I give Metroid Prime for GameCube a bottle of Rakia out of Stargate SG-1, which was incidentally my weekend in a nutshell.